Imagine this. You're scrolling through endless videos that promise to change your life. 5 hacks for success, 10 steps to happiness, the secret nobody tells you. And yet, after watching, nothing really changes. Maybe you feel good for a few minutes, maybe even a day, but then life hits again. The stress, the arguments, the noise, they come back, and the so-called motivation fades like smoke in the wind. This is not one of those videos. I'm not here to give you quick tricks that vanish tomorrow. I'm here to talk about something far more powerful, something that can transform not just your mood today, but the way you live every day after this. Because what we're about to explore is not about hype, it's about peace. And peace is not just a nice idea, it's the difference between living a life of calm clarity or living in constant pain and chaos. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you lost your peace because of someone else's words? How many times have you carried the weight of regret because you reacted too quickly? Those moments add up, and before you know it, years of your life are consumed by anger, frustration, and noise that never really mattered. That's what a painful life looks like. A life where the world controls your emotions, and you're dragged into storms that were never yours to begin with. But here's the truth no one talks about. Peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build. It's a skill, a discipline, a strength that most people never learn. When you understand how to hold on to your peace, no insult can break you, no lie can shake you, and no chaos can steal your clarity. That's when life begins to feel different. That's when you stop just surviving and start truly living. So stay with me, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to share ideas that go deeper than motivation. Ideas that will help you shift from being controlled by the noise around you to becoming someone untouchable, calm, strong, and free. And if you find value in this journey, if you want more than just quick bursts of motivation, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this with someone who needs it. Because together, we're not chasing temporary inspiration. We're building lasting transformation. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to push your buttons on purpose? They insult you not because they're right, but because they want to see you explode. They ignore you not because they forgot, but because they know silence burns deeper than words. They spread lies not because they believe them, but because they want to watch you break under the weight of defending yourself. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people don't want peace with you. They want power over you, and the fastest way they gain that power is by provoking your emotions. Think about it. When someone makes a cruel comment and you snap back instantly, who's really in control? The moment you react without thinking, you hand them your peace. You give them your energy. You give them your power. And suddenly, you're not the one steering your life, they are. It's almost like you're a puppet and the strings are your emotions. They tug a little with an insult and you dance. They pull with silence and you spiral. They spread a rumor and you crumble. And the saddest part? Most people don't even realize how much of their life they're giving away in these small, instant reactions. One argument that ends a friendship. One text message sent in anger that destroys a relationship. One moment of shouting that changes how people see you forever. That's the cost of letting others manipulate your emotions. But here's the good news. Once you see the game, you can stop playing it. When you understand that provocation is a tool of control, you can choose not to give away your peace so cheaply. You can pause. You can breathe. You can respond with strength instead of react with weakness. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember this. Their insult, their lie, their silence only works if you hand them your power. Keep your peace and you win every time. And if this message resonated with you, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because the moment we stop letting others control our emotions, we take back the power to live truly free. Let me ask you something. How many times in your life have you said or done something in the heat of the moment that you later regretted? One reaction, one outburst, and suddenly a friendship feels broken, a relationship ends, or your reputation is damaged in a way that can't be undone. That's the danger of living as a slave to your emotions. It's what I call emotional slavery, when the outside world controls the inside of you. Someone criticizes you and you explode. Someone ignores you and you spiral. Someone lies about you and you feel the need to defend yourself at all costs. And in those moments, you're not in control of your life. They are. Let me share a story with you. There was a young man working at an office. He wasn't the smartest in the room, but he was consistent. He worked late, followed every rule, built a reputation as reliable and hardworking. People respected him. But one day, during a team meeting, his manager criticized him unfairly in front of everyone. The words weren't true and they weren't kind. And in that instant, years of discipline disappeared. He shouted back. He argued, his voice rose. The room went silent, not because he won, but because he lost control. Later, the manager walked away calm and composed. But the young man, he was no longer remembered as hardworking. He was remembered as the emotional guy. In one outburst, he destroyed the reputation he had spent years building. That's what happens when we let our emotions lead us, instead of us leading them. We hand away our power in seconds and pay for it in years. And here's the hard truth. Life will keep giving you moments like that. Unfair words, undeserved criticism, intentional provocations. The question is, will you react and lose or pause and protect what you've built? Because one reaction can destroy years of progress, but one moment of calm can protect everything you've worked for. If you found this story powerful, make sure to subscribe, hit like, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Together we can break free from emotional slavery and step into real strength, the kind that no outburst can ever take away. Most people think reacting fast makes them look strong. Someone insults you and you clap back immediately. Someone raises their voice and you raise yours higher. It feels powerful in the moment, but here's the truth. Fast reactions are not strength. They're weakness. Think about it. What does it really mean when someone can say one sentence and instantly control your mood? It means they own you. They know your buttons and all they have to do is press one. The moment you explode, you're no longer in control, they are. Every impulsive reaction is like handing over pieces of your peace, your energy, and your dignity. It's like pouring water from your cup every time someone provokes you. A sarcastic comment? There goes some peace. A rumor? There goes your energy. A disrespectful look? There goes your dignity. And at the end of the day, you're empty. Not because life took everything from you, but because you gave it away to anyone who knew how to trigger you. Now let's flip the perspective. Picture someone who doesn't react instantly. Someone who hears the insult, feels the sting of disrespect, but doesn't let it shake them. They pause. They breathe. They stay calm. That's not weakness, that's real strength. Because it takes no power to lash out. But it takes extraordinary discipline to remain steady when everything in you wants to explode. That's why the calm person is always the powerful one in the room. They're untouchable. While others waste energy fighting battles that don't matter, they conserve their power for things that do. And that's why they win. Because self-control is the highest form of strength. So the next time you feel the urge to react instantly, remember this. If they can control your reaction, they control you. But if you can resist, if you can pause, if you can hold your ground in silence, then you are the one with the real power. If this message resonates with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because real strength isn't in reacting fast, it's in rising above the trigger. Imagine this. Someone insults you, cuts you off, or says something that hits a nerve. Instantly, your body wants to react. You feel the heat in your chest, your heart races, your fists clench. That's the moment where most people lose. They explode, they shout, they send the angry text, they slam the door. And later, they regret it every single time. But here's a secret that can change your life. The pause. Just 5 seconds. That's all it takes to shift from weakness to strength. Here's how it works. The next time you're triggered, don't move. Don't speak. Don't react. Instead, close your eyes if you can. Take one slow inhale and one slow exhale. That 5 seconds is the space between the fire in your body and the clarity in your mind. It's like pressing the brakes before your emotions crash into your life. Because when you pause, something powerful happens. The flame starts to calm. The storm in your chest begins to settle. And your brain finally has time to think. Suddenly, you're not a puppet to your emotions. You're the one pulling the strings. You can choose. You can decide. You can respond with strength instead of react with weakness. Think about it. 5 seconds can save you from years of regret. One pause can protect a relationship, preserve your reputation, and keep your peace intact. That's not small. It's life-changing. Strong people aren't the ones who react the fastest. Strong people are the ones who master the pause, who let their breath guide them back to control. Because calm words carry more weight than loud ones, and wise actions always outlast emotional ones. So here's your challenge. The next time life tries to trigger you, count to 5. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the emotion pass through before you act. You'll be amazed how much more powerful, calm, and untouchable you feel. And if you're ready to live with that kind of strength, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs it. Because peace begins the moment you master the pause. It's amazing how quickly words can escape our mouths, faster than we can even think. One heated sentence, one harsh tone, one careless reaction, and suddenly something that took years to build can be destroyed in seconds. That's the danger of hasty words and actions. They don't just end in the moment, they leave scars that last. Here's the thing. Most people don't lie awake at night regretting the insults they received. They lie awake regretting the things they said, the words they wish they could take back, the reaction that spiraled out of control. Because pain from others usually fades, but the pain we cause through our own reactions, that stays. Let me give you a story. 2 sisters inseparable since childhood. They laughed together, shared secrets, supported each other through every storm. But one evening, a small disagreement turned into a heated argument. Voices rose, tempers flared, and in that fire, one sister said something cruel. Not because she meant it, but because anger took the wheel. Silence followed. Days passed. Pride stepped in. And what once was a bond stronger than anything, shattered, not because of the disagreement itself, but because of that one hasty moment. That one reaction that could never be unsaid. Years of love lost in seconds of anger. That's the cost of letting emotions lead us blindly. We think we're defending ourselves, but in reality, we're burning bridges we may never rebuild. But here's the hope. You don't have to live that way. You don't have to be a prisoner of instant reactions. The next time you feel the urge to lash out, remember this: words are like arrows. Once released, they don't come back. But if you pause, breathe, and choose wisely, your words can heal instead of hurt. Don't let a few reckless seconds rob you of a lifetime of love, respect, and peace. If this message touched you, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the reminder. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all. Every time something stings, an insult, a rejection, a cold silence, our first instinct is to react. To defend, to attack, to prove we're not weak. But here's the truth. Strength isn't about pretending you don't feel anything. Strength begins when you acknowledge your emotions and still delay your response. You see, emotions aren't the enemy. They're signals. Anger tells you a boundary was crossed. Sadness shows you something mattered. Fear warns you of risk. But when we let those signals drive our words and actions instantly, that's when we create damage we can't undo. Here's a question worth asking whenever you feel triggered. Am I really hurt by this moment? Or is this touching an old wound I never healed? Sometimes it's not the comment in front of you that hurts, it's years of rejection, past betrayals, or old insecurities resurfacing. And when you mistake the past for the present, you react with a force the situation never truly deserved. That's why waiting is so powerful. That pause between emotion and action is where wisdom lives. In the pause, the anger softens, the pain clears, and the truth becomes visible. Suddenly, you're not speaking from old wounds, you're speaking from clarity. And clarity produces words that are calm, truthful, and powerful. Think about the last time you reacted instantly. Did it solve the problem? Or did it add fuel to the fire? Now imagine if you had waited just a few minutes, an hour, even a day. Your response would have been stronger, wiser, and far more effective. The people who seem unshakable, the ones whose words carry weight, they're not emotionless. They feel everything, but they refuse to let the first wave of emotion dictate their response. That's where their power comes from. So the next time you feel that fire rising inside you, don't suppress it, don't deny it, but don't act on it either. Acknowledge it, sit with it, question it, and when the storm passes, respond with the strength of someone who owns their emotions, not someone owned by them. And if you want more reminders like this to help you stay calm, wise, and powerful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because peace doesn't come from ignoring emotions, it comes from mastering the pause before you respond. Most people think strength is loud. They think it's shouting back, proving a point, fighting to be heard. But real strength? It isn't in noise. It's in calmness. The ability to remain steady when the world tries to shake you. That's the mark of true power. Here's why. Manipulators thrive on reaction. They want to see you explode, defend yourself, or lose control. Because every time you react, you give them proof. Proof that their words reached you. Proof that their lies worked. Proof that they own your peace. But silence? Silence is their greatest confusion. When you don't take the bait, their power dissolves. And silence doesn't just confuse, it protects. It protects your energy, your peace, and most importantly, your dignity. Because once your words are out there, they can be twisted, misquoted, and used against you. But your silence? That can't be manipulated. Let me share an example. A man was wrongly accused on social media. The accusations spread fast. Comments, shares, opinions flying everywhere. Most people in that situation would panic. They'd post emotional responses, arguments, desperate defenses. But he didn't. He stayed silent. He trusted time, truth, and calmness. At first, people mistook his silence for weakness. But as days turned into weeks, the lies began to collapse on their own. Evidence surfaced, and the truth spoke louder than any angry response ever could. And through it all, he preserved something priceless, his dignity. Instead of being remembered for rage or panic, he was remembered for grace under fire. That's the power of calmness. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't let others dictate your moves. It means you trust that truth needs no screaming match, it only needs time. So remember this, true strength is never in the noise. It's in the silence that unsettles your enemies and the calmness that protects your soul. If this message spoke to you, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the reminder. Because the strongest voice in the room is often the one that chooses not to speak. Have you ever tried explaining yourself to someone who was never interested in understanding you in the first place? No matter how clear you speak, no matter how patiently you explain, they twist your words, doubt your intentions, and push you deeper into frustration. That's because some people aren't seeking truth. They're committed to misunderstanding. And the more you argue, the more power you give them. Here's the truth. Not every battle deserves your energy. Some people feed off your reactions. They don't want clarity, they want chaos. And the moment you start arguing, you're playing their game on their terms. That's why silence, presence, and restraint are far louder than any words you could throw back. Think about it. When you refuse to argue, when you stand calm while they try to provoke you, you're sending a message they can't twist. I am not controlled by your noise. Your silence becomes strength, your composure becomes proof, and your presence becomes unshakable. And sometimes, the most powerful move isn't staying in the fight at all. It's walking away. Not in defeat, but in mastery. Because walking away says, you don't decide my peace. You don't earn my energy. You don't deserve my time. That's not weakness, it's wisdom. Picture two people shouting in the street. No one stops to ask who's right. They just see two people screaming, both losing dignity. But picture one person walking away calm, head high, while the other keeps shouting into thin air. Who looks stronger? Who truly wins? You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to prove yourself to people determined not to see your truth. Your silence, your restraint, and your ability to walk away, that's what separates the powerful from the powerless. So the next time someone tries to drag you into endless arguments, remember, not responding is sometimes the loudest response of all. If this spoke to you, hit like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs the reminder. Because real strength isn't found in fighting every battle. It's found in knowing which ones aren't worth fighting at all. Every single day you wake up with a limited amount of energy, like a battery. And here's the question. Where are you spending it? On building your future? Or on wasting it in drama that doesn't move your life forward? Because here's the truth, drama is a thief. It steals your focus, your peace, your purpose. Every argument, every petty fight, every attempt to prove yourself to people who don't matter, it all drains the very energy you could have used to grow, to learn, to create, to build the life you actually want. Think about it. You only get so much strength in a day. If you spend it defending yourself against lies, chasing gossip, or fighting pointless battles, what's left for your goals, for your dreams, for the things that actually matter? Let me tell you a story. There was a brilliant student, talented, hard-working, with so much potential. But one day a false rumor spread about her. Instead of ignoring it, instead of focusing forward, she fought it. She argued with classmates, wasted nights on social media posts, obsessed over every whisper in the hallway. And while she was busy defending herself, she stopped studying, stopped creating, stopped preparing for her future. Months later, the rumor had faded, as all lies eventually do. But so had her grades. So had her reputation as a focused, promising student. She had destroyed her own future. Not because of the rumor itself, but because she poured all her energy into drama instead of her destiny. And that's the trap so many fall into. The lie doesn't ruin you the way you fight it does. The drama doesn't kill your purpose, your obsession with it does. Your energy is precious. Protect it. Use it on growth, on building, on becoming. Let the lies die in silence while you rise in success. Because at the end of the day, nothing silences drama louder than results. So remember this. Don't waste your battery on noise. Invest it in your goals. That's how you win. If this message resonated with you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because your energy is your future. Don't spend it where it doesn't belong. Every day when you wake up, you're handed one of the most valuable resources you'll ever own, your attention. Where you place it shapes your entire life. And yet, most people give it away for free. To arguments, to critics, to battles that never should have been fought in the first place. Here's the truth. Not everything deserves your energy. Not every insult deserves your reply. Not every critic deserves your defense. And not every battle deserves to be fought. If you try to respond to everyone and everything, you'll spend your life exhausted, distracted, and far away from the goals that truly matter. Wisdom is knowing what deserves your focus and what doesn't. It's the ability to step back, look at the situation, and ask, if I give my attention to this, what do I lose? Because every fight you choose has a cost, and most of the time the price is your peace, your time, and your purpose. Think about it like this. Lions don't turn every time dogs bark. Why? Because they know their energy is too valuable to waste on noise. They save their strength for what really matters, and you should too. Maybe a critic leaves a harsh comment. Do you need to reply? No, maybe someone gossips behind your back. Do you need to confront them? Not always. Maybe someone tries to drag you into a pointless fight. Do you need to defend yourself? Absolutely not. Because real wisdom isn't just knowing how to fight, it's knowing when not to. And here's the beautiful thing. When you stop giving your energy to every little distraction, you'll have so much more left for growth, for peace, for the dreams that actually move your life forward. So the next time you're tempted to argue, to defend, to fight, pause and ask yourself, does this truly deserve my attention? Most of the time, the answer will be no. If this message hit home, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs the reminder. Because the most powerful people aren't the ones who fight every battle. They're the ones who choose wisely which battles are worth their time. Picture this. A crowded train, tense and noisy. Suddenly a man storms in, angry and aggressive, shouting at strangers, bumping into people, demanding space. Everyone else freezes, nervous, uncomfortable, some even ready to shout back. The tension fills the air like a storm about to break. But then from the corner, an old man looks up. He doesn't shout. He doesn't argue. He simply speaks with calm empathy. His voice is steady, his presence unshaken. And slowly, unbelievably, the storm begins to quiet. The angry man softens, his volume lowers, and before long, the entire train is at peace again. Not because someone fought fire with fire, but because one man chose calmness. That's the power most people overlook. Calmness isn't weakness, it's influence. The calm person doesn't need to raise their voice to be heard. They don't need to demand respect, it naturally comes to them. Why? Because calmness earns trust. It earns clarity. It earns respect. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones who panic, who shout, who explode at every trigger? Or are they the ones who stay steady under pressure? The ones whose very presence makes you feel safe and clear. That's not an accident. Calm people influence entire rooms without ever forcing it. And here's the secret. Calmness is magnetic. In a world full of noise, the person who can remain steady becomes the one everyone listens to. Their words carry weight because they're not thrown out carelessly. They're chosen with intention. Their silence even speaks louder than another person's rage. You don't need to dominate a room to own it. You don't need to argue to win. True power is the ability to steady storms with nothing but presence and clarity. So, the next time you find yourself in chaos, whether it's an argument, a stressful meeting, or even a crowded train, remember, calmness is your greatest strength. It not only protects you, it influences everyone around you. If this story inspired you, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because in the end, the calmest person in the room is always the strongest. Have you ever noticed what happens to your body the moment you get upset? Your breathing becomes shallow, your chest tightens, your thoughts race, and before you know it, your emotions are driving your actions. That's why one of the most powerful tools you'll ever use is also the simplest: breathing. When you breathe deeply and often, you're not just calming your body, you're regulating your mind. A steady breath slows your heart, clears your head, and reminds you that you're in control. It creates space between the trigger and your response, giving you the ability to act with wisdom instead of react with impulse. Here's the key: observe before acting. When you pause, breathe, and step back, you give yourself the chance to detach emotions from decisions. Instead of sending that angry text, you delete it. Instead of shouting in frustration, you choose silence. Instead of making a decision you'll regret, you wait until clarity returns. That shift from reacting to observing is what separates the calm from the chaotic. But calmness isn't built in big moments, it's trained in small ones. The daily annoyances, the little frustrations, the minor inconveniences, these are your practice grounds. The traffic jam, the long line at the grocery store, the coworker who interrupts you. If you can breathe, pause, and stay calm there, you'll be ready when life throws bigger storms your way. Think of it like strength training. You don't walk into a gym and lift the heaviest weight on day one. You start small, build consistency, and over time you become unshakable. Calmness works the same way. Practice it in the little things, and when life brings the big tests, you'll already have the strength to remain steady. So remember this: breathe deeply, observe before acting, and let your calmness become your power, because the person who can control themselves in the small moments will always rise above in the big ones. If this spoke to you, hit like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs the reminder. Because calmness isn't just a reaction, it's a habit. And once you practice it daily, nothing can break you. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you react the way you do? Why a small comment feels like a big insult? Why someone ignoring your message feels like rejection? The truth is, most reactions aren't really about the moment, they're about habits. Over time, reacting becomes automatic. Someone pushes your button and without thinking, you snap. It's not strength. It's programming, but here's the difference. A reaction is a habit. A response is a conscious choice. Reactions are fast, emotional, and uncontrolled. Responses are calm, intentional, and wise. And the more you understand this, the more you realize you don't have to be a prisoner of your past. Because often, it's not the person in front of you that you're reacting to. It's an old wound. If you were ignored as a child, being ignored today can sting more than it should. If you were once humiliated, even a small disrespect now feels unbearable. If you were abandoned, the slightest distance feels like betrayal. Past pain becomes present reaction. And then there's ego, the invisible enemy inside. Ego is what whispers, "They can't treat me like that," or "I need to prove I'm right." Ego craves validation, attention, and revenge. But here's the hard truth: ego doesn't give you power, it steals your peace. Every time you argue to win, every time you fight to be right, every time you try to prove your worth, you're not choosing strength, you're choosing slavery to your ego. But peace? Peace lives on the other side of letting go. Take the story of a man who gave years of his life to a company. He worked hard, loyal, and dedicated. Then one day, without warning, he was replaced. No thanks, no apology, nothing. His ego screamed for revenge. He wanted to expose them, attack them, prove his worth. But his grandmother's wisdom stopped him. She told him, "You don't heal by proving others wrong. You heal by proving their actions don't control your future." He chose silence over shouting, dignity over destruction. And instead of burning energy and anger, he rebuilt his life. 6 months later, he launched his own company. Years later, he was more successful than the very people who betrayed him, all because he let go of ego and held on to peace. So let me ask you, are you living ruled by reactions and ego, or are you choosing calm, conscious responses that protect your peace? The less you fight to be right, the freer you'll feel. If this message hit home, subscribe for more content like this. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, peace is always stronger than ego. Choose peace every time. Have you ever believed the lie that your anger defines you? That your loudest reactions are proof of your strength? The truth is, you are not your reactions. You are not your anger. You are not the storms that come and go in your life. Your true identity is so much deeper. It's found in your silence, in your calmness, in the wisdom you carry when the world tries to shake you. That is where real power lives. Not in shouting, not in proving, not in fighting every battle, but in holding your ground with quiet confidence. Think about it. Anyone can explode. Anyone can panic. Anyone can throw words like weapons. But very few can stay still in the storm. Breathe when everything feels heavy and rise above without being dragged into chaos. That's not weakness. That's mastery. Your calmness is your strength. Your silence is your weapon. Your wisdom is your shield. When you stop giving your peace away, you discover a power most people never find. The kind of power that can't be shaken by insults, lies, or drama. So from this moment forward, remember, you are more than your reactions. You are steady. You are strong. You are free. And as you carry this truth into your life, my wish for you is simple. May peace guide your days. May strength protect your heart. And may quiet confidence be the foundation you stand on. Because when you live from that place, nothing and no one can take your power away. If this message spoke to you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who needs this reminder today. And above all, stay calm, stay strong, and stay free.